So I got a question on what my hobbies are, what I do as a hobby. I have a lot because one of the reasons is because I have PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And the reason that that's relevant to hobbies is because I have different phases that I go through that dictate what I feel like doing. And I never want to do something just because everybody else is doing it. I want to do what I'm in the mood to do because that's going to fuel my creativity. So the first thing I do is nails. So these are press-ons that I hand painted myself. I would recommend like any kind of form of art, anything on canvas. Sometimes I paint. Any like sketching, drawing is really fun to do. I sometimes do that. So in the, I guess we can start categorizing by like seasons, and not necessarily weather seasons, but seasons of my life and how I function, how the seasons that I go through affect what I feel like doing, if that makes sense. In my, I don't even want to say luteal phase, but like the phase of I have energy, which is usually after my cycle. A lot of things, I have like low energy activities and high energy activities that I do. So again, just depending on how I'm feeling and what mood I'm in. So when I have a lot of energy, what I like to do is read. And I fixate on things, like hyperfixate. So when I read something, it's going to be a big chunk of my day. I can't just read like a couple pages and then go to bed. Like I have to read a few chapters, get this whole like episode in and feel satiated after that. So the way I do this is the library, because Barnes & Noble gets me in trouble. I never read the same book twice unless it's nonfiction, which I hardly ever read. So the book that I am currently reading is from the library, but this is called Happy Couple by Samantha Hayes. It's a psychological thriller. That's the genre that I read. Sometimes romance, but I don't know. It's a very hit or miss with romance for me. So thrillers, any psychological thrillers, these are like my to-goes. And the way that I do my books is I get from the library 2 or 3 books. So I have this one and then a couple that I haven't even touched yet. The First Wife by Erica Spindler. This is another one that I have on my queue. And then my third one is The Woman Outside My Door by Rachel Ryan. So you can kind of see a theme of like, you know, mystery, sort of chasers, sort of like, yeah, thrillers. So these are the books I have right now from the library. And the reason I get a bunch is because, one, I'll go through one pretty quickly and not want to go to the library again, so I like to stock up. 2, I'm very picky, so too much swearing, it's a domestic thriller, like I'm married, just things that I don't really jive with. Anyway, then I have another book I can like DNF and then get to the next one like right away, so I don't have to go back to the library. Anyway, that's my system. So right now I have 3 books, and because I'm in high energy at the end of my PMDD, I'll probably be doing that tonight. The second thing I do that's a hobby, the third thing I do that's a hobby would be gaming. That is in the season of, I would say, depression. So when I'm really low and depressed and I need some sort of stimulation, I love comfort games on my Switch that take a while to get through, but they're kind of repetitive. So for example, Cuisinier, I think, is the game that I recently most played, and it's like a diner dash slash monster fighting game. It's really chill though. You play as a cat and you're running a cafe. It's super cute, super chill. Not really a repeat game player unless I really got addicted. And again, all or nothing person, so I get hooked and I get addicted. So it's got to be something that, you know, takes me away from what I'm feeling, because sometimes I just want to get away from it. And like depression, I want to feel something, I want to get away from the depression. I don't want to think about anything else and just dive into a whole other world. Another one that I really liked as a game was Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna retry Tears of the Kingdom because this is my husband's actually, but Tears of the Kingdom, because I didn't realize it was like a puzzle-based game all the way through. I thought it was more of like a lifestyle, like Breath of the Wild was, which are my kind of games, but I love Zelda so much, I'm willing to give it another shot. And now that I know what it's about, when I'm in the mood for a puzzle-like game, I can go straight to that one. So that's a new one I'm gonna try. I'm trying to get off my phone by like 7 or 8 o'clock. I'm getting there, but when I get off my phone, I can do electronics as long as I'm not scrolling, like through TikTok or through YouTube or watching endless videos that it's 3 a.m. and I have no idea what happened. So I'm trying to get off my phone, and that includes like texting and, you know, socials, like all that stuff. So I do have my iPad, and on the iPad, what I do is I scroll through Pinterest and make new boards, things that inspire me, things that get me motivated, and just for fun, like nail ideas, you know, things that just get me excited, and that just kind of gives me something to look forward to. So I'm like, oh, on my board I have like a new design I can do in the next couple of days on my nails or something like that. So I really like to do that for a little bit. Something new as a hobby that I got is this puzzle book. Let's see if I can find the title. It's a 3-in-1 brain game. So it's word search, crosswords, and Sudoku. I wanted to try Sudoku and I discovered I don't actually like it, but you never know if you don't try something new. On here is crosswords. I have discovered I love crosswords. I did not know that I would, but it feels like a win every time I get the word right. So it's like a little accomplishment of like, ooh, I'm kind of smart, or like, okay, I got that. I wouldn't necessarily call it a hobby, but I will call it a non-negotiable. And I am going to make another video on all my non-negotiables throughout my morning and night routines, and some midday things. But one of my non-negotiables that I count as a hobby is journaling. Excuse the coffee stain. I have to have a drink with everything I do. That's another thing. Usually coffee. But I journal. I just journal everything. I word vomit, I brain dump, I talk about all my feelings. So low energy or high energy, as long as I get my thoughts out on the book, it makes me so much less stressed. So usually I'll do like Bible reading in the morning and at night, and that goes with journaling. I'll get all my thoughts out first, and then I can clear it for whatever I'm about to put in it. So anyway, journaling is massive. I swear by it. I never used to be a journaler. It always like sounded good. Like when you're confused about something, when you're stressed about something and you put it on paper, it makes so much more sense. It's so much less stressful. You leave it in God's hands, and it's just, anyway, you can also understand yourself better. I have had like therapy through journaling and then shared it with my therapist, and she was like, okay, what else have you found through journaling? Like, we are unlocking so many core memories and so many things that I need to work on, and like things to be proud of, like all this stuff from journaling. So highly recommend journaling. The very last thing I want to talk about with my hobbies is, in order to really get the full benefit from them and to really enjoy it, I do make it an event. I have to make my hobbies an event. You need to stimulate all your senses when you are doing a hobby, because that's how you really get the full thing of it. So for example, with my nails, I have to have like a movie on, candle lit, always have a drink. So I have everything in my kitchen to make sure I don't go to Starbucks. So I have chai, I have tea, I have coffee, all of it regular and decaf. So I have as many options as I could possibly want. So it's just wonderful. If I just want like an iced decaf for the night while I'm reading, I have that. For reading, I have on my TV in the bedroom, I have either a fireplace or lo-fi going. If you don't know what lo-fi is, go look it up. Anything lo-fi. Shout out to Hanamoni, because they have really amazing lo-fi. It's just like a peppy, soothing, jazzy kind of techno music. It's so wonderful. I love it. Or just a fireplace crackling while I'm reading my book so I'm not distracted by the noise. Just some sort of white noise going. Lighting is huge. So if you have, I have like this dimming light over here. Makes a huge difference on lighting. Cozy clothes, get a warm drink or an iced drink if it's the middle of the day. just surround yourself with all those wonderful senses, with gaming, to really get the most out of like your Switch or your PS4, PS5, whatever you have. We love a really nice set of headphones to plug right into the console. Like, I like it handheld. I do not like playing on the TV. Number one, I'm blind. Like, I cannot see. Even with my glasses, it's still just too small with the details. I don't like it. I like things close up and personal and just kind of my own space. So I really like to play handheld. And I plug my headphones in, get the sensory going, have the lights off, have a drink and a snack on the side, sit on the couch, recline. It's an experience. And that's what you have to make your hobbies, is a whole experience, and realize that you deserve that. Like, don't just sit down with a book and start reading. Like, you might enjoy it, but if you surround yourself with all that extra stuff, it is an experience, and it is just like luxury, and it feels wonderful, and you're really taking care of yourself, and like all those things are subconscious too, and like will really help. Some bonus hobbies I wanted to talk about. Couple of things is trying new things. Mental health seasonal hobbies for me is to crochet. That's kind of a rarity for me. That's like a once a year thing. Like, if we're snowed in, there's nothing to do, and I just want to watch a comfort movie, I put that on and I'm like, you know what? I feel like crocheting a scarf, or I feel like crocheting this little cutesy thing we can put on our entertainment center, or like whatever. So it's like a one-off thing. Last year, I crocheted this flower garland, and it took me like days. It took me like 3 or 4 days fully. I wasn't working, I was sick, and I was just like, I'm just gonna focus on crocheting. What else? Something new I want to try is air dry clay, and then just get like the colored ones or blank so that you can paint it. But I really want to try some air dry clay and like mold them and get the tools in there, and I think that would be super cool to do with your hands. In a long time, usually it's like repairs, but every once in a while I will get the urge to like make a skirt, make a dress. I made an apron last year for the kitchen that had like a cat pattern on it. So sewing is a really big one. It's fun to learn too. So it's a really good skill to learn, just even for repairs and things like that. So anyway, I hope some of these hobbies answered your questions. They should be guilt-free, and if they're not, journal it, work on it. But eventually you'll get to a rhythm of what you're in the mood for and start cycling through things. It's kind of how it worked out for me. So the more you learn about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, and don't be afraid to try new things.